if they are sent by God 100%, y'all are going to be equally yoked. God will not give you someone that is not a believer. This is mainly for relationships, but this could be friendships too. And I know a lot of people go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, but I'm gonna go to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 2 through 3. It says, and this is talking about Solomon finding someone to marry. It says, the Lord has clearly instructed the people of Israel, you must not marry them because they will turn your hearts to their gods. Yet Solomon insisted on loving them anyway. He had 700 wives of royal birth and 300 concubines. And in fact, they did turn his heart away from the Lord. In Solomon's old age, they turned his heart to worship other gods instead of being completely faithful to the Lord his God, as his father David had been. And I read that verse because just like God told the Israelites not to intermarry because they'll turn their hearts away from him, God tells us not to be unequally yoked and not to fellowship with darkness because they have nothing in common and they'll draw you farther away from God. Now, I know you probably think, oh, I could probably change them. I can be the one who saves them and gets them closer to God. But in reality, it's only God that saves us. It's us who plant the seed, and it's on God's timing to water. So it's in God's timing for him to get saved or her to get saved. And if you read 1 John chapter 4, verse 8, it says, whoever doesn't love does not know God, because God is love. So if you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't love God, who doesn't know God, then they don't know what love is. So how are they going to be able to properly love you? The second thing is it's not forced and you're actually trusting in God's timing. Because if the chemistry is not there, but you just want to hurry up and get in a relationship because you feel lonely or you just want a relationship right now, then it's more likely going to end up in tension, a lot of arguing because you didn't wait on God's timing. That's why in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, because a good wife or a good husband is sent by God. And how do you know if you're forcing it? You know if you're forcing it if you are trying harder than the other person. Also, if you are seeking for a husband or a wife more than you are seeking for God, because God says seek the kingdom first and all this righteousness, and then everything else should be added on to you. Also, if the chemistry is off, y'all don't really click, the vibe is always off, y'all are always arguing, one person is putting more effort into the relationship than the other one, it's probably a sign it's not sent from God. That actually brings me to the third thing, which is sacrificing for each other. If the other person is not willing to sacrifice and they just want to do things their own way, then they're probably not from God and they're not for you. Why? Because that's the sign is showing that they don't truly love you. Because in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, it says love doesn't insist on its own way. So if they truly love you, they'll be willing to sacrifice going to the club. They'll be willing to sacrifice certain friends that influence them to do certain things. That brings me to the last one, which is they actually love you and it's not just lust. Because when it's lust, you'll know they'll be pushy to do like lustful things. They aren't really willing to wait till marriage. And yeah, when a relationship is literally just lust, it won't last very long. And most of the time when a relationship is filled with lust, it most likely ends up in cheating because lust always needs something new. Instead, it should be the opposite way around. They should be encouraging you to stay away from lust. They should be encouraging you to get in your word and get closer to God instead of drawing you away from God. If they draw you away from God, whether it's your friends or a relationship, you shouldn't be with them because it'll be detrimental to your faith. If you are struggling with lust, I was in the same boat, and I did make a full breakdown on how you can overcome it in this video right here. So if you want to go watch that, go ahead. But if not, appreciate y'all for watching. So y'all stay blessed.